welcome back to Therapy Tea, y'all. Hey, Jasmine.
Hi.
How's life?
Just life be lifin'. I mean, it's June. It's still June. I don't know. It's still June. That's
Yeah.
how life is.
I know. I feel you,
June
man.
is so long. I feel
It
like
is
June
a
is
long month. You're right.
one
It
of the
always
longer
feels kind of
months.
long. You know what else I think? Isn't it like all of the summer months feel like long? And do any of them have like back to back, like long? No, they're all alternating with the 30
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
31.
Maybe that's our connection to the weather and stuff. We're talking about the weather again. Oh my
We're
God.
being very weather adjacent right now.
Weather adjacent conversation. All right. Well, before we just dive back into the freaking weather, I want to
Oh,
remind everyone that we're not doing ads in our podcast. Well, I mean, we'll plug Alitu. Alitu is the thing that we use as the podcast platform. We've had a lot of really good luck with it and a lot of really awesome learning experiences, but none that were like terrible, So I don't know. They've
yeah.
been super
I,
responsive, super chill.
yeah, their help people have been like really helpful.
Yeah, totally,
Shown up.
totally. Yeah, and you can get 50% off, your subscription if you wanna try out podcasting with our code. It's in the show notes. I believe it's
Mhm.
T50, TEA50. Anyway, so that's all the ads that we're gonna do. So if you guys like the show and you wanna continue to support the show in more ways than one than just listening, then please donate to our show. We have a PayPal link to keep it simple.
That's right. Keeps it simple and it allows for us to focus on what we actually want to focus on, which is
Yeah.
the conversations that we're having with all the cool people that are out there doing mental health work. That's the thing that we want to pay attention to. That's the thing that we want to focus our attention on. And that's what we want you to focus your attention on. Something that bothers me about ads in general is that they steal your attention away to try to
Yes.
get you to pay attention to whatever product. And you know what? We're not really about that.
No.
So it doesn't align with us. So instead, what we would like to do is keep the attention, ours and yours as the listeners, on what this is actually about, what this is actually for, which is just providing support and connection and validation to all the mental health professionals out there who do this work, us included.
Yeah.
And so we'd appreciate some support for the show. If you want us to keep doing it, then, you know, please help us do that with
Yeah.
dollar bills.
Money. Ah, man, if we could, like, charge for this particular episode, I think I totally would.
Oh, I agree. Oh my gosh. Yes. This week we are getting to share our whole conversation. We're not doing our splits anymore either, guys. Don't
No.
forget. So we're sharing just the whole enchilada with Jeremy McCall, who is a licensed master social worker and a certified mental health performance coach in Michigan. So he has a Bachelor of Social Work and a Master of Social Work from Wayne State University. He currently works as a social worker in an elementary school in the Detroit area school district, but he has worked with all ages and levels in the school system over his time as a social worker. He also has a private practice where he provides therapy and coaching for individuals, teams, families, kind of the whole gambit. But he focuses on mental health and performance issues of athletes, elite athletes, coaches, teams, kind of across the sports and activities realm.
That was my favorite thing. That was my favorite thing that we talked to him about was his work with pro and semi-pro. I don't know anything about sports, all that. I kind of know about sports, but I get like the rules and shit, but that's about it. So if I'm saying it wrong, I don't know, don't come for me. But oh my gosh, that's so cool. I always thought like we had that class in high school where it was like sports medicine and all the trainers went in there and I was just like, ugh. So that was I don't know. That's my association with like sports, mental health, like sports trainers, things like that. And I'm sure they do help, but Jeremy is so cool. He has so much experience and this kind of special interest in working with athletes and semi-pro athletes. Like I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of jaded about sports, but he really opened it up this week for me of like,
Mhm.
you
All
know,
the unique kind of mental
yes.
health issues associated with that.
Yeah, like, I think about The Wrestler, a Darren Aronofsky film. Like, how much of your identity if you've spent your whole life playing a sport and you've gotten to, like, a fairly high level, but then, there's a limit and like, you can't do this forever, your body can't do this forever, and only really the best of the best of the best of the best of the best are the ones that stick around and make a real career out of it. So it's a really complicated identity, self-esteem, like, performance. I just didn't even think about that as a
Yeah.
specialization.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I agree. I think I just love Jeremy as a person. Like,
my
he's one of those
god, I
people
know.
that I for sure feel like we would be actual friends with him if he lived
Totally.
nearby.
Yeah,
So, he's a cool person and so easy to talk to and really easy to listen to. So, you guys are
good.
in for, like, a real treat with Jeremy. I
Yeah,
I loved it.
me too. But before we get to that, Karen, what did you learn this week about counseling?
Well, I'm in the thick of it, guys, and I don't know what I've learned at this moment beyond how much I fucking hate this, but I'll try to keep you guys posted because I just started a journey because that's what it fucking feels like. A journey
Yes.
full of like brambles and shit.
Ew.
I am changing kind of how I do certain administrative things in my private practice. And it is ridiculous out there.
I
All the
can't.
different fucking software options, like, the big ones that everybody knows about is Simple Practice, right? And
Yes.
there's lots of others. There's therapy notes, there's Thera notes, there's sessions, I mean, there's a bazillion. And then there's some that are like based out of different countries, like from Canada or Europe or Australia, and they all have different sort of functionality and different emphasis.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to change up my way of doing things primarily because there's certain features that I absolutely want, and then there's certain features that I do not need. So like what
Yeah.
I'm finding in this process is like most of the options out there are significantly too robust for me. Like I don't take insurance. I'm not gonna take insurance. I'm
Mhm.
private pay only, and that's something that I want to continue to do in my practice. Literally every option out there has some sort of insurance option,
Yeah.
which makes sense if that's something that you're gonna do. But if it's not something that you need and it's not something you wanna do, then it becomes a constraint on functionality, right? Because now it wants to function in an insurance environment where it wants me to do things that insurance
Yeah.
needs. I don't fucking
Yeah.
need to do that, right? And so the time that it's been taking me to like investigate different options, like comparing costs, comparing features, comparing like user functionality,
Yeah.
right? And then also comparing like client experience. So I like create a fake profile for myself as
Mhm.
a potential client, right? So that then
Right.
I can like see what happens when forms get sent or when alerts get sent. Like, what does it look like? What does it say? It's been so much work.
It's a
And
lot of
Jasmine, no
variables.
one's paying me for it.
Right. It's another piece of this.
Yeah.
If you choose to do private practice, you choose not to be paid for some of this work,
All of this.
and
I
there's
mean,
no shame.
if you go with a group or something, then you're just going to use whatever system they've decided to use,
Yeah,
right?
there's another choice a different way. If you choose to go with the group,
Yeah.
then you choose to not have as much
Yeah.
control.
The other thing I'm finding is like, we've talked about this before, Jasmine, the sunk cost fallacy, but
Eh,
ugh, there's a
it's hard.
real reality of sunk costs. Like the
I
amount of
know.
time, like if you put all your shit, all your data, all your, client information into this one EHR, and then you're like, I fuck this thing. It's too robust for me, or it's not
Yeah,
doing what I need to do. The challenge that comes with like deciding to change,
yeah,
like it is so much work having to,
yeah.
even if you transfer your data over, it doesn't do it perfectly. You
No.
still have to fucking do shit manually. And that like is so much time and energy. And if you want to like test out a couple, you have to do all these like fucking demo calls. That
I
takes time.
know.
Play around with it. You need like dedicated hours to just like fiddle with it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and
To
don't give them
decide if
your
it's right for you.
information
But
because
you have to. You
they
fucking
will
have to.
I
And then they
know, but, like,
spam you.
they
And then it
spam you.
bites.
Yes, I know.
God.
I
And
hate
you're
how
like
much how
automatically signed up
businessy.
for shit.
Yeah, I hate how businessy like, this is. I
I
hate
know.
it.
And I really have yet to find anything that perfectly aligns with what I need.
Yeah, no.
And that's frustrating because, like, I am kind of starting to go a direction where it's like, you know what? Maybe I'm going to hodgepodge something together. I'm going to Jimmy rig it myself. But again, that's work too.
That's
And
also
maybe it
work.
would save
Yep.
me money, but would it save me money? Because does it cost
And
me in time? You
well,
know?
right, and, like, why not just, like, hire a personal
I know.
assistant? There's that too, like,
God,
you know? It's
I'm
there's
thinking
too
about it.
many it's
I'm thinking about
so
it. But that's
I
another
think
thing. What do you
making
have to
work.
interview them? Do I have to
Yeah,
interview them? Oh my God, that's another thing that takes time.
yeah, you have to trust them.
Has anyone ever fired a virtual assistant?
Oh my
Please
gosh.
show up in the comments and tell us how that
Yeah,
works out.
yeah. Email us your story. Maybe we'll do
Yeah.
that would be so fun. If we, like, did, like, a show, like, a bonus show where we were, like or bonus episode where we were, like, just the darkest tales of like, being a counselor.
I would love
I would love
to
that,
do
actually.
a very yes, for sure. But what you were saying just made me think about another idea, which is like I would love to like pull people that we know that use all the different platforms and like
Oh.
get me your experience with these different platforms so that I can like hear it from a real person instead of the sales team, you know?
Right, right. Yeah. We
I
suck at
just
social media, though, so it's really hard.
well, I social media, they get off topic. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know so fast, and then
Like,
sometimes it's too much information,
yes,
and yeah, I don't know. I
it's
don't know what the answer is,
it just
other
leads
than
me somewhere useless. Yeah,
right, other than to just, like, make the choice or
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, we're also in a sort of situation where there are too many options, right?
Yeah, right.
And so that's that same like decision fatigue that you get to, which is like, fuck it. I don't even fucking care.
I know.
Whatever.
That just
I'm
happened to
just
me. I'm, like, planning this big road trip with my partner, and I literally was just like, "I can't do this." Like, I was picking out
yes.
hotels or Airbnbs in this, like, baby little town we're gonna be
Yeah.
in for a while, and it was terrible.
Does it have a bed, running water?
Yeah, I
All
don't
done.
know. I was just
Check.
like, "I can't do this anymore. I've been working on this for, like, 3 days, and I just
Yeah.
can't do it." And
Yeah.
that's why you
Yeah.
need someone to just be like, "This one."
Yes. Yes. And I realized like we could be that for other people, but like then we'd have to start by being that for ourselves. And I'm having a hard enough time with that.
Yeah. You can't give what you don't have, and if I can't do it,
Mm,
I mean
snaps. Snaps, Jasmine. You can't give
Thank
what you
you.
don't have.
Yeah, that's not mine, it's Gary Landreth.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I'll report back, guys, what I end up landing on. But right now, I'm just in the thick of all of the extra frustrating work that comes in with trying to shift
Yeah.
in private practice. Like whatever administrative shift you're trying to make, it comes with like time and energy that sometimes it feels like I really just don't have.
Yeah.
I know I need to make a shift. I know that, but like fuck, man. It's so much work to do it.
Yeah.
So, we'll see where
Gross.
I end up being, but
Bummer.
for now,
And if anybody has their cool stories about, like,
yeah,
"Oh my gosh, this was a nightmare," or, "Actually, I really like this one," we take recommendations too. Email
that's
is
true.
best. Email is best. I love our email, so just do the email for now. Okay, but while we're waiting for Garen to decide, I know we're all just, like, on the edge of our seats about what's
Yeah.
gonna happen next. We don't have that,
We've
wait till
started a
next week.
saga, guys. We've started a saga.
Now we don't have to talk about the weather. Anyway, so let's get to our interview with Jeremy McCall.
Jeremy coming up, y'all. Welcome back to Therapy Tea, everybody. Hello, y'all are in for a treat. We've got Jeremy McCall with us today. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's beautiful. Michigan is beautiful, and I'm glad to be with you guys.
Awesome.
Amazing. Jeremy is one of our favorite people. We've gotten the opportunity to talk to him a couple of times, and we thought, we got to share this guy. We got to share him with other people.
And Michigan, you're not in Texas, which is super exciting for us. Tell us what you do in Michigan.
I'm a school social worker in the day. I am a private practice clinician in the evening. I do a little bit of everything. And so, as a school social worker, I'm working with the kiddos on social emotional learning, managing anxiety, overcoming fears. And then I work with professional athletes, individuals in the evening, doing the exact same thing, have them get over their fears, manage anxiety, performance anxiety, and just navigate life's challenges.
What a connection there that I would not have necessarily expected. That
Right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, people are humans are human. And
fair
no matter
point.
where they're at, one of the things they're gonna do is do human behavior. And so I think I found a unique way of connecting all the behaviors of different people because ultimately I think we're all a lot alike.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
What age do you work with? Like, as far well, I mean, athletes, I'm sure you work with a lot of different ages, but, like, as far as school?
With school, currently I'm in the elementary, so I'm K-5, but I've done district support of all ages of school. And so this is just another adventure. I'm in the Pontiac School District. It's a very unique area, urban area. And so resources are few, but love is plenty. And
Mhm.
so it's a beautiful community.
Jeremy, how did you get into what you're doing now? Like, can you go back and give us a sense of, like, how did you get into becoming a social worker and
Yeah.
working in the school
So with
system?
social work, it came by accident. I thought I was going to be, I thought I was going to be a bunch of things, but I was working at a school and worked with a gentleman named Mike Spite. Dr. Spite was a psychologist, and I thought his job was pretty cool. And he turned me on to social work, and I thought that really fit me and what I envisioned for myself. And it just worked out that the school was the best fit for me because I saw myself as a teacher at heart, and it just gave me another opportunity to connect with kids on a different level.
Do you think you had a sense of, like, what social work is as opposed to any other kind of mental health work?
I say we're like psychologists, but cooler, in
Mm,
the professional sense, of course.
Yes. Yes.
We really get to what's going on with people on a practical level,
mhm.
to put it into tennis shoes. We learn systems. We're big on systems, and that's what I do a lot with my athletes and organizations I work with. They use me for my systems building and understanding of how we all network and connect together. And so that to me, that's the hallmark of social work is that piece.
I like what you said about the practical aspect of it.
Right. The real life applications.
Mhm, mhm.
Where a psychologist is going to give you this test and say, "Hey, it looks like you have this and this." I'm not going to give you a test. There's no math being done over here. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about, what's going on and what does that mean? And what does that look like for you in your life? How are we going to implement some of those strategies? How are we going to, address some of those concerns that may have come up?
You said you knew you wanted to work in schools or you just found it to be a better fit? Like,
Yep.
how did you
So I
evolve
was
into that?
uh I was at Wayne State University, and they do a great job of letting us explore all the different avenues of social work. I like the broad nature of it, and so there was opportunities to go to a hospital, work
Mm.
in the hospital setting. I was close to going towards the prison setting, the correctional setting, but I need sunshine, and so I kind of
Yeah.
steered away from there because schools had summers off. And
Oh
Oh my
my
full
gosh.
gosh.
disclosure, I was very transparent that I wanted to have a private practice of some sort. And I
Mm.
knew schools gave me the best opportunity to do that.
How did you know you wanted to have a private practice?
Yeah, did you know that in school?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I knew it was my avenue to private practice because I felt that agency work just seemed too limiting. Traditional social work just seemed too limiting for who I am and how I best operate. And so I wanted to be able to impact uh, communities that were underrepresented. And I knew that this was probably the best avenue to do that in the quickest amount of time.
Did you wanna work with a certain age group, like, going up d or do you have a favorite? That's 2 different questions.
No, no, it's
Sorry.
a very easy question. I definitely have a favorite.
Okay.
I just don't tell the age group who's the favorite. I just keep
Okay.
reminding them I do have a favorite, and it could be
Mhm.
you, right? It could be your age group.
Mm. Oh, I like
But
that
no,
strategy.
I knew I was gonna do secondary, high school, that population, tons of fun, always something new, and I like the immediate well, in the school setting, immediate gratification means that 4 years from now, that young man I just helped is gonna come back as somebody's he's gonna be an actual man, and whether it be the Marines, a lot of the students I worked with went into the armed service, and to see them frustrate me and, give me a couple extra grays throughout the school year, and then, for 4 years, and then to see them come back and with their families, I just love that immediate feedback. At the elementary, I gotta wait too long. I have had students come back, but it's like, "Man, you just mastered, elementary or middle school. You can't come back and talk to me about stuff yet."
Right.
But no, it's fun. I love all the ages.
No. All?
No.
Or you have a least favorite too, I
Okay,
imagine.
alright, the least favorite's middle school. I middle school humans,
Oh.
I love all humans. No offense to any middle school humans, but that's just a very difficult stage of life,
It
and, so I
is.
don't go into middle schools. If you ever hear about a story of me in the middle schools, throng me, because I don't go into middle schools. I drop
I
my kids
don't
off down the street. I have 2 middle school students, and I don't do middle schools.
Yeah, I don't know many people who actually enjoy that age, including kids that age. I don't
Yeah,
think they enjoy
No.
that
They don't
age.
like each other.
yeah. No, they
Oh,
don't
they
like
hate
anything.
it's
There's
they're
nothing they like.
mean.
Yeah.
They're mean and kind of crazy.
Yeah.
They've got, like, the weird energy of, elementary, but then, like, that social, like, scariness of a budding high schooler. Jesus.
Yeah,
It's
no, it's
aggressive.
brutal. It's brutal.
Is there a difference in, like, administration? Like, on the administration side when you work in different age groups and different grade levels?
Definitely, definitely. I learned that in elementary, everyone's nice and kind and, like, they're very helpful and
Mm,
supportive. On the admin side, everybody it's
yeah.
just a different vibe, and when you get to the secondary
Construction
level, it's
paper.
more of a real world field, and that's not abnormal, right? But it's just unusual in the school setting because it's still not really the harshness of reality.
Mhm.
So, it's a shock for people like me who've been in the school setting for so long to go into the corporate setting and see what
Mhm.
it's like to be in a corporate setting and somebody give you a performance evaluation versus, you're a teacher and you get a performance evaluation in the school setting. It's different. It's
Yeah.
very different, the elementary to secondary.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I've thought about that as multiple components of how you might decide what's your favorite or least favorite setting to work in. Like, maybe you love the students at that level, but like the administration dynamics at that level are just too frustrating, or vice versa, like the administration and the way that certain grade levels function and you therefore have to function as a professional in that setting just is awesome, but the kids suck. I don't know, you know?
It's the intensity too. So, like, the kindergarten teacher telling me the 2nd grade teacher telling me that, Johnny is just acting up in class versus, the math teacher at the high school telling me that Johnny and his girlfriend are pregnant is 2 different intensities and
Yeah.
things that and so I guess it's blurred. It's such a wild experience. I do encourage everybody to volunteer or spend some time in the school. And when I say everybody, I'm really talking to all the men who work in, traditional fields. I think our society would be better if people worked at a restaurant, if people
Oh my god,
substitute
yes.
taught,
Yes.
and if they ever had to beg for money. I think everybody should have a tour of duty in all 3 of those areas and come out with a little different perspective, humanity.
Service industry,
Yes.
teaching, and begging for money?
Yep,
Social
yep,
serv
in
Panhandling?
that order.
Panhandling.
social
Yeah.
services.
Yeah, you'll really when you ask somebody for something and they look
I
you
think
in the eye and
literally
tell
you
you
mean
no,
panhandling. Yeah,
or
like,
they
you mean
or they judge
literally.
you, it's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
certain feel that
Oh, yeah.
everybody needs to experience,
For
and,
sure.
you only get that when you're asking somebody in that setting. one of my professors hipped me to that, and on a wild Friday college night, we did that, and
What? You
sitting around.
panhandled?
Yeah. Oh, it was awesome. Wayne State is in the heart of Detroit. Like, that's one of the reasons I chose it for social work, because you leave class and social is working right in front of you. Like, it's
Yeah.
ready for you right then and there. And I love that about the school. And I think it gave me a great experience. I grew up in the suburbs, so it gave me a great experience of what it was like to be in Detroit.
Detroit is fascinating for
Uh-huh.
me. Like, I have never been there. I don't know if I want to go there, and I think, like a lot of people, it's, like, hard to know what is true. It feels like Detroit is this, like, propagandized place, and it's, like, hard to know what is real and what isn't real, but I always think about whenever I think about Detroit, I think about Anthony Bourdain and how, like, obsessed he was with Detroit, and, like, he made, like, a documentary about it, and, like, he loved Detroit, and be the spokesperson of Detroit.
Yes, I will
Tell
speak
us
for
about.
Detroit. Thank you. Thank you. No, man, Detroit is and I travel a lot, and so you don't know what you have until you leave. And so there's a lot
Mm,
of Detroiters who, who love the city, who are very, very passionate about the city, and they've never left. And I'm like, well, how do you really know?
right.
You've never left. And I'm like, I'm such an idiot for leaving. Like, they weren't lying. This city is amazing. The opportunity, the cultures. There's so many different cultures who connect and make the city move. And then, the history, the car industry, obviously,
Yes.
music. It's
Mhm.
just such a great place that it should be on everybody's list during the spring and summer months. During the winter, you're on your own. But during spring, summer, it's amazing. In the fall is beautiful in Michigan.
Ugh,
It's
Um,
like a food city now, am I
it
right?
is, it
yeah.
Like
is
a
because
budding
it's the
I love a
culture.
good
We
food
have
city,
a
man.
Hispanic culture, Arabic culture, Middle Eastern culture with
Yeah.
amazing food. You know, I can get fat talking about it. I just love it. I love it.
I love a good food city. If it's a food city, it's gonna bump up on my travel list,
Definitely,
more than
definitely.
any other, like, feature.
I'm just fascinated by, like, the history of Detroit. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a wild ride, like, especially
Yes.
with the car industry and, like you said, like, the music industry and then
The
just
booms
all
and the
the.
busts. Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's,
cool.
like, such a representation of, like, a time in America. Anyway, I don't need to be the spokesperson of Detroit. Okay, so you wanted to was counseling, like, your first choice, or were
Social
you
work.
is this a or I'm sorry, social work? Oh, I have so many questions now because now I remember you're a social worker. Okay, well,
Now
we're
you remember
stepping.
that? He's been talking about this whole
I
time,
know, I
Jasmine.
know, I know, but then he mentioned
Wow.
Detroit, and then I had
It's a
started
lot.
on
It's a lot. I'm a
Detroit.
lot. I get it, guys. I'm a lot.
I He inspires a lot in me. So, okay, I I have to know, and I think a lot of other counselors that like school counselors that we have spoken to would also like to know. I know you've never been a school counselor outside of Michigan, right?
Right.
Okay. What do you have to do duty? Like, is there a
Oh,
confusion
yeah. Like
about
lunch
what?
duty.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things that we talk to school counselors in Texas about all the time is how they have to basically like tell administration and teach administration what their job is and kind of go against the grain and set some pretty strict boundaries that sometimes end up in some, kind of like sticky situations. So, what would you say that that's the case in Michigan?
Yes. Well, okay. So the strict boundaries and defining roles, that's a huge part, I think, of any position.
Okay.
When you go into a building, you want to know exactly what it is, the expectation is for you. With social work, no one knows what we do.
Mm,
Most people don't
Okay.
even know we exist.
good.
And we float
That feels
around
right.
helping
Yeah.
primarily students who are at risk or who already have an IEP, some type of special education plan. And so, but that establishing those roles, we in our state constitution, they have certain disabilities, certain things that they need social workers specifically
Mhm.
for. And so that role is already carved out. So
I see.
a lot of counselors already understand there's a certain piece that they just give to us automatically. And then where there's gray areas, it's communication, it's relationship. I've been very fortunate to have counselors who don't mind when our areas overlap. Yeah.
Do
So,
most schools have both?
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, is
Do
there
middle
both?
school, it starts at middle school where you'll traditionally see both, and then
Okay.
definitely at high school. In the high school I worked at, it's the fifth largest in the state. We had 3 social workers and 6 counselors
Oh,
on staff,
What?
and
How
yeah, it
many
was
kids?
2,500 kids.
it's a lot of kids.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. 'Cause do y'all
That's
do that
like
do y'all
5A
do it's 5A? Okay, that is
easily.
Yeah,
pretty
something like
big.
that, like a 5 or 6A,
Okay,
school.
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
They do A's, whatever that is,
That's a
in
Texas football thing. I know that. Yeah, I know that.
okay,
Everybody knows
okay,
it
okay.
because of football.
Yeah.
I don't know that we have any 6As. I think 5A is as high as it goes.
I may have made it up. I could totally make up 6A. It just
I
sounds, I
mean,
just remember it was big. I remember y'all had a lot of
somebody
A's.
will do it
Whoever had the
though,
most A's, that's the big schools.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
if we're gonna get a 6A, it's gonna be in Texas because somebody's
Yeah,
gonna
of
be
course.
like,
Yeah,
okay,
there you go. There
I
you go.
wanna
yeah,
be
Yeah.
bigger." Yeah.
bigger,
You'd think it
more.
would have happened already, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
5A.
I mean, who's in charge of that, really? Who knows? Anyway,
I don't know.
it's
They
not
make
like
up numbers and letters.
yeah, it's all made up anyway.
But I can't imagine they have that big of a mental health department at
No,
any of
no.
the schools.
No. We normally see, like, 1 to 4 is
Yeah,
normally the
that sounds right.
average. Never 6, and
And
never
oftentimes there'll
another
be like
department.
one, let's say, social worker for multiple schools within a district,
Wow.
and they have
Yeah.
to travel between
Yeah, that's
multiple
common.
campuses.
That's common at
Yeah.
some school districts here. It's really based off of the area, and I'm
Yeah.
not sure exactly how schools are funded in other areas, but ours is by property taxes and business
Mhm.
taxes in the area. So
Mhm.
the schools who have a higher economic pull, they'll have more services. The students
Yeah,
that actually need the services, that's where people are traveling building to building, and that's the way our
exactly.
system is set up for some unknown reason.
Yeah, that sounds right. That's how we do it too.
Yeah.
Super
Top
well allocated.
literally top to bottom. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is our country. Very cool.
Yeah.
At least we're people like us are aware of it, you know? At
Yeah,
least we're
oh, yeah, every
trying.
time I
At
see
least we're
those test
trying.
scores going up, I'm like, "Man, money must be good over there." That's
Right.
where, you know.
Mhm. Okay, I have questions about this, like, added piece of private practice. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds like you knew you wanted to do that as well all along, or
No,
and
I
did you
kinda
know
fell
how you
into the current practice. I was working for a local, sports team,
Mhm.
and I was part of my assignment was to drive players who've been cut. I would have to take them to the airport, and hearing their stories, hearing their,
Oh,
conversations they were having.
like
from
from
the
the
team?
team.
Yeah, oh yeah, yes. It was a professional
Oh,
sports team, and so
okay,
I
okay.
was I was the driver,
Ah,
apparently. I
You
thought
had to,
they
like,
they my title
get
was
them to
player
leave.
assistant, and I thought it was something really cooler than what it was, and it just entailed cleaning up stuff and folding their jerseys and all types of random things that the superstitious athletes they had me do, and one of which was, by default, I was the one who would drive guys to the airport.
Wow,
when
what a
they got
shitty job.
Yeah,
yeah, oh
yeah,
my
wasn't
god.
cool.
What
Wasn't
a
cool.
terrible.
Body fluids,
Oh, yeah.
super,
Oh,
super
sweaty jerseys,
superstition.
underwear. Oh, yeah, come on, we
I
can
would
go there. I forgot, we can go there.
I
Yep,
would
this
be
is for
that
adults.
kind of bitch who would be like, "Oh, you need me to fold it a certain way?
Yes.
I got you." And then I would fold it the exact opposite way that they told me to.
Yeah. See, the only problem with I
You
had
didn't
2
do that.
problems. One,
You're
my
nice.
brother was on the team who has a proven track record of beating me up. Like, he has a established a history of doing so. And 2, like, the smallest guy, like, the 3rd string kicker was, like, 6'8". He was huge. Everybody was huge. Everybody was bigger than me, and they I was bullied for a while, to be honest with you. I mean,
Oh,
now that we can say
no.
this, I was bullied, but it was fun. No, it was a great time, and to be a young adult in a professional setting, I don't want the tapes to come out, but it was a fun time. It was a fun time.
But driving them had to have been the worst part.
Oh
When
my
they get cut, like, are they
god.
gonna beat you up in the car?
Yeah, well,
Take
see,
their
that was the
take
rule.
their feelings out on you?
I knew how to work with, angry athletes, and again, from my working with my brother, and I knew not to ever look them in the eye.
Oh,
And while they sit there crying, if you're sitting there like, "Oh, man, everything okay?" Or yeah, no, you don't do that. You don't do that. You just
I
let
see.
them. I just turned up the
Just pretend you're
radios,
not
act
there.
like I didn't hear it, and, just kept it moving. I actually do. I've kept in contact with a couple of guys from there, and that's one of the running jokes. We just didn't make eye contact. Just don't make eye contact.
Wow.
Whoa.
And from
Well,
that, you decided you wanted to do more of that or what?
right,
Well, I
right. You
saw the
like
need,
that?
right? I
I
saw that
saw
these
a need.
guys had no outlet other than the guy who's driving them
Yeah.
to the airport, other
Gosh.
than their teammate's little brother, who they knew I was doing something in the mental health field. They knew I was gonna
Mhm.
eventually go that route. And but yeah, that was the extent of that. I just knew that men needed therapy and they weren't going to get it. And the way they were gonna get it had to look different. It wasn't gonna
Yeah.
be some old guy, old lady who is gonna get them to pour out their soul,
Right.
necessarily. And I knew it had to be in a physical way. I knew it had to be active, and I kinda incorporate that into my practice. My clients and I, sometimes we're shooting baskets out back, sometimes we're taking a walk, sometimes we're meeting in environments that aren't the traditional counseling environment, therapy environment, but it works for them. And so, I'm meeting on site, I'm meeting on location, wherever.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That
love that.
makes so much sense. Like, that and it's something that, I wouldn't even think about. Like, we're taught in counseling school. I remember, like, a whole lecture on, like, how to set up your room in a
Yeah,
way that is the most comfy. But then the older I got, yeah, I worked in, like, the juvenile detention setting, and then I worked in, like, a high acuity inpatient facility, and it's like, I don't know, sometimes a counselor's office or, like, just an indoor office, like, sometimes these settings, people don't have very good experiences with them,
Yeah.
and sometimes the more familiar settings, like a basketball court.
yep,
Oh my god.
we call them courts.
She
It's
was
okay.
gonna say
Okay,
field. She
I
was gonna
was.
say field.
I was absolutely gonna say field or like an open field that I mean, so many probably positive memories associated with that, and in the words of the great Dan Siegel, "What binds together wires together." So it's like, where else to talk about these really hard moments and what this means to your life rather than the place that it happened in. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I really do. I believe in that. I think we all learn differently, and not to be too gender specific, but men just learn differently. And I think as therapists and counselors in school, we're taught one way, and I think we're taught very effective that way because the outcomes show that men don't go to therapy. It wasn't designed for them. And so I think it's working effectively. It's doing a great job of
Hold
addressing the
on.
needs that it was designed for.
Time the fuck out. Time the fuck out. How is it that counseling was both invented by men, but also not invented for
But isn't
them?
that a classic man
Wasn't it
move? Isn't
you
that a
know, didn't
classic man move? I'm gonna invent something so my wife can
Yes.
get right, because she ain't right. And if she would get right, I could be
Oh my
better.
god.
She clearly is
Oh
the
my god, you
problem.
fucking nailed it.
Yeah, yeah. I would be out of
Nailed it.
work if it wasn't for the moms, if it wasn't for for girlfriends, the women and these guys like side chicks. I'd be out of work if they didn't encourage these men to get help.
That's
And
a good point.
really
That's who you probably have
that
to
was my whole
market to.
pull is I think we help society when we help our young men. We make therapy more appealing to young men. And if I have to
Yeah.
shoot some baskets for Johnny to get some cognitive behavioral, then so be it.
Totally. Ah, yeah, people at the jail used to ask me all the time, like, "Why are you just letting them play basketball?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"'Cause 'cause they are happy
yeah,
and we're chatting,
yeah,
so, it's nice."
That
yeah.
is
Oh, man.
therapeutic.
Yeah. Were you in sports?
Yes, yes. I actually just recently retired from the over 40 D League, and reluctantly I had to hang the boots up this season. It's a tough one, but whatever. I'll talk to my therapist about it. But yeah,
Okay.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. Something that I think about when it comes to working with athletes and maybe men too, because like I was not an athlete, okay? Like I was a band nerd for sure, which I think had some athleticism to it, but we don't need to debate that today. The point
I
is
can
I
see it.
I was not an athlete, but I I had close friends that were, like, my brothers were, my husband was, and I've watched, like, them really wrestle with the reality of really, like, not making it, quite frankly, in a goal towards a thing that they were passionate about, that they were, as far as, like, the pool they swam in, pretty good at, and then various things happen in your life, or at least in their lives, where you just don't progress past a certain point, or there's injuries that you then have to contend with that impact your performance, whatever the case may be. I mean, my husband found a different career path, my brother found a different career path, but I know that both of them still struggle with like coulda, woulda, shoulda going professional in their sport of choice. And I just, because I have people that are close to me that I love that go through this, I feel like I have a sense of like what that might be like for athletes in general, like people who are striving to be a certain thing and then those hopes get dashed. Like that is so hard. And it seems, at least in the case of the people that I know, like it sticks with them. Like they never let it go.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be hard. Like, how do you work with that? Like, what does that even look like for you?
We do a lot of identity work. We do a lot of identity work about, who are you? Bigger than who do you play for or what do you do in real life? It's a very common thing though. We see that in all walks of life. People,
Mhm,
you ask a guy, "Hey, we went to school together." Yeah, I graduated in 98. It was supposed to be 99, but I got held back. I mean, everybody who's gotten held back in school has that story they tell as grown adults. They still bring up the fact that they got held back.
mm,
And it's one of those moments in life you can accomplish a lot of things, but people really remember the defeats more than they do the wins. And so I think that that's what happens with athletes is that
mm,
they focus on, man, I really could have done this and I should have done this. And they don't realize what benefits they took from the things that they did do. What gains they got out of the climbing the mountain. And
mhm.
so yeah, that's what I hope I try to help them see that. It's the whole, just making sure they understand their identity of who they are.
It kinda seems like a grieving experience to me.
Exactly like that. That's exactly what we take them through the grieving process.
Yeah.
There's times where they're fine with it. There's times where they're gonna be sad about it. There's gonna be, all types of, the 5 stages of grief. It really does fit.
So there's the grief and the emotional devastation and picking up the pieces when you get cut, or whatever, but what about the folks that are actually successful? There's still a timeline on that, am I right?
Are you saying within the game or, like, after their career?
All of
Ugh.
the above. Like, I think about, like, what does it mean to be a successful athlete? Like, there's so many pieces to that, and yet there is still, like an end to your peak performance, your athleticism. Like, even if you retired, I don't know, willingly? I don't know. I feel like a lot of them don't retire willingly. They just rather, like, die on the field or whatever, or
Right.
something
No, there is
ridiculous
that
like that.
grieving period. I work with athletes in that process as they're leaving the game. We talk about, what's the plan and who do you become? I try to turn it into something exciting, that it's a beginning, that it's not an
Mm,
end, that we're going to
mhm,
focus on, okay, now we really get to live life more intentionally,
mhm,
especially if financially they've been sound. Now they're going to have some more options. They just need help guiding them through that.
mhm,
And that is a that is a long process because,
mm.
people are grieving, like you said. They've always been the athlete, recognized and given special treatment because of that. And then now how do I transition back into I'm another person, And that's
Yeah,
very challenging.
yeah. And the experience of being an athlete, like, while they're doing this, what is your role when you're working with them while they're actually, I don't know, being athletes as opposed to trying to retire or getting cut. Like, I feel like there's some similarities in those phases, but, like, if they're in the peak performance phase of their experience, like, they're trying to get better, they're trying to reach to the next level, they aren't ending or retiring. What does it mean to work with an athlete at that stage?
That's a lot of fun. It's pressing the pedal to the metal, and we talk about vision. How do you see your next season? How do you see the next 5 seasons playing out? We talk about it goes back to that goal setting and then walking them through how do I accomplish these things. So in 5 years, I want to be a 3-time champion. What do I need to do today to make that happen? And so we
Mhm.
talk about training routines. I'm big on, again, the systems. So we create systems that are going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for us. And if
Mhm.
we stay disciplined to the system, then, we can climb a mountain and not realize that we've been taking steps all along the way.
Sounds like you do kind of a blend of coaching and counseling.
Yes, definitely. They blend and, I do have to draw a line of distinction when the mental health is blocking us. When it's
Yeah.
blocking progress, we have to draw that line of distinction. Sometimes, because I'm so close to them on the coaching side, I may refer them to another therapist, or sometimes, we have different ways of doing that. But that's a big piece. I'm glad you mentioned that. That blending of the worlds is very, very it's tricky. And so that's
Yeah.
why you need to have a skilled clinician to be able to do that.
Yeah, how do you distinguish? Like, because I think about this for me, my niche professionally is working with individuals who are considering divorce, who are going through divorce, who maybe are sort of trying to heal after the experience of a divorce. And a part of my personal professional story is I used to be a paralegal for a divorce attorney for a decade. And so a part of what I do when I'm working with clients who are actually in the middle of a divorce actively is I'm doing coaching in many ways, like coaching them in how to talk to their attorney, how to move their case forward, how to sort through discovery in a way that's going to be helpful for them. What are some
Right.
issues that they need to kind of prepare for, et cetera. But I also am struggling in the professional realm in that coaching is sort of professionally been taken outside of our work as a separate thing when the way I look at it is it's a component of what I do. It's a part of the umbrella of what I am licensed to do and taught to do, but I'm sort of having to distinguish so I'm struggling to figure out where do you set the lines and like what you said there are times when the mental health piece is obviously relevant to what we're talking about, particularly in the realm of something like divorce and I can see it in your, you know, way too. But then there are other times where literally all we're doing today is like making a plan for what you're going to do to talk to your attorney.
Yep.
And so, I mean, do I have to build that shit differently? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
it's so annoying that I have to even think about it that way actually. And so I'm just curious like how are you dealing with that complexity too?
Yeah. So it depends how they come through the door. And
I see.
so if they come through the door under the mental health lens,
Mhm.
then we talk about that and we terminate that. We say, okay, it looks like, you've expressed that the anxiety is subsided and we have some things in place. All right, now, if we want to go the coaching route, if you just want to come for maintenance or whatnot, typically we leave insurance alone. Insurance, and that's what I tell them that my clients love the flexibility of the coaching
Mhm.
because we don't have to worry about certain guidelines and things that are in place for good reason. Like I understand why they're there
Yeah.
to a certain degree, but I'm glad that we also have the opportunity to go back to the coaching part of what most of us do best anyway. Like, we get into this walk not to manage bipolar disorder of individuals. We get in it because we just want their life better. We just want to help people. We want to
Yeah.
teach them some skills that we may have learned, and we just want to
Good
share
point.
information. The reason I would, that's why I love my academic background because at least I know the theory behind what I'm doing. If I'm just a coach out here, if I'm just any Joe Blow and I call myself a coach and I'm giving out advice, I worry about that just because the risk of them not knowing the boundaries could really
Yep.
damage people,
Yep.
and I've had to clean up those messes also. So,
Yep.
no, I don't shy away from the coaching side. I just there's a different plan when they come through the door seeking mental health support, And we talk about this through my intakes in the first sessions about what it would look like with each model. And typically, most of my athletes are choosing the more flexible coaching model.
So then once you're in this coaching model, what happens when you do need to go back into mental health support?
Right.
Can it be pulled back in? Are you having to essentially like switch paths again? Because I find that that's where I'm challenged is that I do view people in a more holistic way. And I want to be able to say, like, okay, today this is what we need to work on. And maybe next time it's a little different. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to kind of need to come back here, or even partially part of the session we're working on like regulation and mindfulness, and another part of the session we're getting a list together. Like this is all happening in the same space because again, I look at this as a larger coaching and helping people make their lives better and figure out a goal and set plans and move forward is a part of what we do. It is not the
Yes.
only
It's
part.
definitely mental health.
It's mental
Mhm.
health, and so the going deeper stuff, it's also a part. And, I hate having to put people into boxes.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like maybe the unlicensed, unregulated coaching profession that is like knocking on our door is what's sort of forcing us to have to then practice differently or practice in this like pathway kind of division between the two way. I don't know. Maybe I'm just mad about it.
Oh.
I
No,
don't know
it's
what
a
it
confusing thing. It's a blurred line,
Mhm.
and again, I know how I operate, and I know
Yeah.
how where I best fit, and I have no problem sending clients to other providers, whether it be on the coaching or on the
Mm,
therapeutic side, if it's just not a good fit. If I went into it with one mindset and I'm addressing one thing, and they are veering towards something different than what I'm comfortable with, or where I can't transition between the 2 or where it just doesn't fit, then yeah, it's all about them. It really is. And fortunately, I don't know, the ethics police haven't, come through the door lately, but I haven't had any issues with clients with the blurred lines. I've had to refer some clients. I've kept some clients who they were like, I don't want to go to somebody else.
yeah.
I didn't want to seem like I was shunning them because are discovering some depressive episodes from time to time,
Yeah.
where they came to me because it was their jump shot. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that happens, and so no, we just transition, and I like to be proactive. I like to talk about it up front. If this
Mm,
happens, this is what we can do. This is our options, and as long as we're communicating and being open about it, I think that's where we stay out of trouble.
yeah. You make a good point around like having the kind of interaction and conversations with your client about maybe similarities and differences and overlaps and limitations around what you can do or can't do or limitations around your role and just keeping that dialogue consistent
Definitely.
is a big part of it. Mhm.
I can't let you go without mentioning Simone Biles. We don't get the opportunity to talk to people who have such an interesting niche. Like I've never met anyone, even though I think it's incredibly valid and an awesome idea, and I think it's gotten maybe more attention in recent years, but like high performance athletic coaching, mental health, like counselor. And you've been doing it for such a long time. Have you seen any sort of shifts in the way that maybe people are coming to you, what they're coming to you with, things like that, as far as like the athletic community? Again, and I mentioned Simone Biles because that was such a big deal. Like she is an Olympian. She's been working her entire life. She's known like literally worldwide. And then she takes a break. And it was like, I remember it was like shockwaves to
Yeah.
everybody, and it's for counselors, it's like, "Well, yes."
People take
We're all
Yes.
breaks
like,
from work.
"Yay."
Right. But,
Yeah.
like, I'm just wondering if, like, I don't know, what was that like? Has that had any sort of impact on anything as far
I
as you're
think it
concerned?
does. I think that the generations overall, her age bracket is way more open with their mental health than my age bracket ever has been. And so it's refreshing to see top athletes like Simone Biles, like Aditi Richards, like so many others step out and say, yeah, Kevin Love is from the NBA has done a great job in the mental health space. There's so many, but I love that they're out there now. Where I do remember where people were. I felt like I was being snuck through the side door
Right.
because people didn't want to be seen with me of all people, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something how it's changed, and but some of it's still there because there's the
Sure.
stigma. There's always going to
Sure.
be that stigma. Not always, but there's been a longstanding stigma with especially in my space with predominantly men. There's a stigma attached to it, and so I love that it's going away, but it's still there.
Yeah. I mean, this impacts especially young men. You talk about like how men sort of develop or how men, learn. I think that I coming from Texas, maybe it's different other places, but coming from Texas, yeah, like it was such a scandal if someone decided to not do football, like if a
Yeah.
guy decided to not do football. Like I remember
Yep.
at my co-part for our senior, I was in theater. I bet you're really surprised.
We know.
I could tell.
But my co-part, like, didn't do football because he was and he's, like, huge. He's, like, this big, huge dude, but he gets the co-lead in the senior play, and then just kind of, like and then he's also in a band or something, and so he just decides not to do football, and it was like, "Oh my god." Like,
Yeah.
even me, someone who doesn't care that much was like, "Are you sure? Like, are you sure you" 'Cause it's such a big part of their identity, and it
Yes.
undoubtedly impacts their development, but it's something that seems to be kind of bubbling beneath the surface. 'Cause
Yeah.
they can't really crack because things like that happen, like Simone Biles, like the kid from my high school. It's like, if you step off the pedestal, it's a big deal, and so it's almost like this little feedback system with society where it's like we don't want to see them lose and we don't want to see them quit, but they're also humans. They're human
Right.
beings.
Right. I think the pressures have risen too. I think with the NIL deals and the
Mm.
money and the
Mhm.
cost of youth sports, that's
Yes. Ugh.
why, parents are putting more pressure on Johnny. It used to be my mom just dropped me off and I wound up in some random field playing and it was whatever. I'm paying 2 mortgage payments with my kids playing travel sports. And
Yeah.
they're pricing a lot of kids out. And so that pressure, I told my son he was at recess and we had a tournament. We're getting on an airplane in elementary to go out
What?
west for a soccer tournament. And this boy is playing for free at recess. I pulled him off recess. Doc, you ain't playing free. We don't do that. We ain't playing with friends. No, you got to pay to play. And so,
How you get
What?
hurt?
it's a crazy way of raising kids where I could just my mom didn't care if I was playing at recess. She
Right.
you know what I mean? Like that's crazy to
Yeah.
think about.
Oh,
But I was
yeah.
worried when my son was at recess because I needed him on that paid field.
Oh my gosh, right.
Yeah.
Like you haven't it's like this, you have invested I didn't even think about again, I didn't even think about that. Like
Yeah.
parents and I work with parents, and you're absolutely right. Like, they get so the ones who have athletic kids
Yep.
that
Yeah.
they've
Yep. And
spent
then
a
there's that
bunch of
part.
money on, it's, like, preposterous for them to think that this kid is not gonna play volleyball or softball or whatever, and they are, like, sinking money into this, and that's
Yeah.
gotta change oh my gosh, that's definitely gotta impact the relation I mean, it does impact the relationship, but you're kind of from the perspective of the other side, like, you get to see this happen. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just kinda
Some of
reeling.
that some of that seems to be also about, like, I don't know if all parents sort of justify it this way, but it's like, I'm guaranteeing their future by pushing them this way or paying for
Uh,
these additional athletic things. No, like, they're gonna get into a good school on an athletic scholarship or something like that. What is it about?
yeah, for our family, it's more about I want my boys to dream. I want them to do exactly whatever it is they wanna do. And if they're gonna do that, I want them well equipped to do that. And I think that's how a lot of families look at it. I mean, because it's a poor investment if you're saying you're putting away, 3 to 5 grand into travel sports when you could put that into a child 529 plan or whatever, a
Oh,
college fund,
I wasn't
and
implying
pay
there
for a
was
scholarship
no
3 times over.
cognitive dissonance involved here. Like, I
I'm
assuming
sorry?
I was not implying that there was no cognitive dissonance here. Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's
it could be a
total,
bad choice and
right?
still why they're justifying it or whatever.
Yeah. But for me and my family, I like how it manufactures adversity.
Mm,
I got my kids, we out here, and it's hard for them to understand what adversity and challenges are outside of the sports world. And so I think it's a healthy level of stress that it applies with time management, organizational skills,
mm.
all the things that sports do provide. And so that's, to me, I look at it as an investment in that way. That's how me and my therapist decided to do my crazy. And so I'm sticking with that. But,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's an investment into, you know, creating experiences that they're gonna have to work through, and that's what I'm all about.
Sure, decision making, choice giving.
You could
I
do that in band or theater. It doesn't have to be football, though.
No, you can only get it in sports. You can only get it in sports.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can do it.
I mean,
Do you
wow.
realize that we're like one of those walk into a bar jokes?
Yes.
Like an athlete, a band nerd, and a therapy kid walked into a bar. That's
Theater,
us.
not therapy. I was not in inpatient.
Did I
It's
say
the
therapy?
You
Theater
did.
You
kid.
definitely
Oh,
said therapy kid. I thought I was a
okay.
therapy kid. I was like, "How did you know?" I moved on from that,
Theater
Karen.
kid, theater kid.
Oh, theater kid. Okay.
Athlete, band nerd, theater
Oh, yeah.
kid walked into a bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
We would
Yeah.
not have been friends in high school, guys.
No, I was bullying you guys. Guarantee it.
For sure.
Guaranteed it.
For sure.
I would have thought I was way too cool for everyone.
That's right.
Oh, you were too cool?
That's right.
Oh, I could
Yeah,
see
it
that,
would
though.
not
I
have
could see that.
bothered me. Yeah, I
Right.
would have cried about it later, but, in front of you, I would have been like,
Yeah.
"Ugh." Yeah.
Yeah.
We straight up ignored the theater kids, like, forgot they even
Yeah,
used the
sure.
theater. Yeah.
That was
Actually,
on
I did too.
purpose.
We had some famous theater kids in our area, and
Oh,
so, nobody that you would know, but
okay.
it was like a big deal, and so, like, we didn't make fun of them because, like, we knew they were gonna do something, like, in that world.
That's amazing.
Pretty
That's
cool.
everybody's dream. We lose it pretty quickly. Some of us don't. I did.
Quick,
Okay.
check me out before we get off the famous kid topic,
Yeah.
because actually, I don't know if he was a theater kid at my high school or not, but a famous person went to my high school that everybody does know,
Oh,
Patrick Swayze.
stop it.
Wow.
I don't know,
That's
though. Was
huge.
he in band?
You
Was he in
did
theater?
not.
Was he in football? I have no idea, but he
That
definitely went to my high
is
school.
the
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze.
The Patrick Swayze went to my high school.
Wow.
Wow.
Footloose.
H-Town!
No, it's not
Yeah.
Footloose.
Oh, yeah, it is
No, Roadhouse.
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty
Dirty Dancing, that's what
Yeah,
it was. I knew
That's
it
what
wasn't
I'm thinking.
okay, okay,
mhm,
my bad, my
Yeah.
bad. Wrong girl movie. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, what were
Okay.
you gonna ask, Jasmine?
Well, I was gonna ask the big question.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Jeremy, what do you wish you had known? This is gonna be a two-parter. What do you wish you had known before getting into your private practice role? So, like, the high performance sports, and follow up, what do you wish you had known before spending your whole life working for the school system?
I wish I would have known the business side of therapy before, and in the schools, I, that's a good one. What would I wish I would have known in the schools? The importance of recess. These
Oh
Mm.
kids
my
need to get outside,
gosh.
and we stop it
Yes.
at elementary, and I think that's the
No.
worst
We
thing.
shouldn't. I
I think it's
agree.
the worst. I think
This
it
is
needs
why
to,
middle school sucks.
definitely
You're
be in
right.
middle school and high school.
Yes.
Our
Middle
middle
school
school
at a
had
minimum.
recess. Our middle school had recess, but it was in a parking lot,
It's
which
terrible.
is maybe sadder. I don't
Yeah.
know. It
Yeah.
No,
was
it's pretty sad.
odd. It was really odd, and it was
No, they
so
need physical
hot.
outlets.
Yes, yes, yes. Never underestimate the power of that, especially with anybody, anywhere, but definitely kids who are developing. Ugh.
Yes.
What are the basic recess standards? Because I don't have a child and, I don't work in the school system. So, like, what's your understanding of, like, what are the basic recess standards?
It's like 20 minutes maybe on a good day. They let the kids
In
go
elementary?
outside in elementary. In
What?
elementary. there's a lunch recess, and then if they're super good, they may get 12 minutes in the afternoon,
The fuck,
to
12
go outside.
minutes?
It's not a lot of time. It's not
Oh,
what in school, it felt like forever. I do
it
remember, I
did.
scored 6 touchdowns one recess, and, like,
Wow.
I was an amazing, amazing player in recess. But, yeah, it seemed like it took forever, but no, it's about 20 to 30 minutes for per day, maybe, hopefully.
Maybe recess was longer when we were kids, though, because I do feel like it was longer than 20 minutes. It had to have
Yeah,
been.
the teachers are kept to strict standards now because they have to be in instruction by so many minutes. And what's funny is
Wow.
the public did that. Like, they
Oh,
wanted
I
to
know.
mandate that
I
teachers
I
know.
are
know.
teaching certain things, and so then they did that, they mandated that, and so then they had to kick out your art, your
I
some of
know.
your other classes that we know you need, recess.
Mhm.
They had to reduce it, and then teachers get blamed or educators get blamed for there not
Or
being
the system
recess.
in general gets
It's
blamed.
the
It's like,
public,
you
man, the
voted
public
on this
crazy.
shit. Yeah.
We gotta get involved with schools and stop leaving it to the teachers, stop leaving it to people who aren't in the school. We all gotta work together because
Yeah.
we do crazy things in the school too,
I know.
but a lot of it's because the public is asking for us to do some silly things
Yes.
also.
Right. Right. You're having to figure it out, how to do what
Mhm.
you're supposed to do. Yeah.
I read something about, and I don't know if this is federal or state regulations, but let's say it's just state of Texas, and I'm not sure if it's federal. But the regulations for prison is that prisoners get 2 hours of, like, outdoor time by law every day. And, if you ask, like, prisoners, like, What if we took, like, 20 minutes of that?" They would, like, literally shank you, you know? And we do not give even half of that to young children that they have not committed any felonies whatsoever. They
That
have
we
Not
not
know
yet.
supposed
of. That we know.
right, that we know of, but they have not
Well,
been
there's a
convicted
school
of
to
any
prison pipeline.
crimes.
Oh
They're
my god,
I but
yes.
maybe this is a part of it, y'all.
That is.
I mean,
That's
what are
my
we talking
thesis.
about?
We don't give recess until they finally graduate and get locked up. And
Mm.
and that's what these kids are working towards because, that prison to school pipeline is crazy, and to
Yeah.
Yeah,
see it in action, as
yeah,
punitive as we are in certain districts and how we talk about students and, the stats don't lie. It's crazy.
yeah. But there's more free time there if you think about that. It's
Right.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
unacceptable.
You would yeah.
Wow. What
No.
advice would you give to, like, a new clinician who was really interested in helping athletes?
Do it. Hurry up. You better hurry up. Come on. No, it's relationships. Make sure that you have the integrity. Make sure that you're in it for the right reasons, right? If you're
Mhm.
just trying to bump into your favorite sports star and you just want to be in that life, this thing will eat you alive very quickly and you won't
Yeah,
last very long. I think you have to stay professional above all and that professional decorum, but also be real. Like athletes speak to realness. Real recognizes real. And so, yeah, I think that'd be my main giveaway.
do you think you need to be an athlete to, like, get in this? To work with
Not at
them?
all. I think you just need to understand how an athlete works. I haven't, I work with a lot of women. A lot of my clients are women and typically I'm not a woman, but I do understand that they have needs and I listen to what their needs are. And I think I understand women and work with different backgrounds pretty well.
I love that
Got
you
it.
said, "Typically, I'm not a woman." Oh,
Typically,
I
typically.
love you for that.
Depends who you
Well,
talk to.
it's incredible. Okay, so I know we gotta cut this a little bit shorter than we would like to, but do you have any resources as far as mental health is concerned that you'd like to
That you
share?
can share,
Yeah.
recommend to others.
Resources as in what
Books,
agents.
Like,
movies.
for other mental health professionals, like, something
Yeah.
that's been really influential for you as a mental health professional that you'd
Okay.
recommend to others.
I'm a big fan of, the grounding techniques. I love
Mhm,
grounding techniques, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm sure everybody has heard
mhm.
of those. 5 things we can see, 4 things we can feel, 3 things we can hear, 2 things we can smell, and then I have my clients look at 1 thing they can do to help themselves. What's 1 positive thing they can do? And it's a self-regulation tool. By the time they get to 1 after doing those other things, they, hopefully will be in a more clearer spot to make a decision that's not based off of emotion, but based off of their clear thinking and logic. I try to
Yes.
pull people out of emotional thinking. That's my superpower.
Yes.
Love it.
Feelings got to be felt, but they're also very temporary. Okay, what
F them feelings.
about feel them
I'm the
feelings?
therapist
F
who does
'em.
not believe I don't
agree.
like talking about feelings because we don't control them. And so,
Ooh,
like, why
speaking
are
my
we sitting here
language.
spending so much time on something that we don't control?
Yeah.
I'd much rather address their thinking. And okay, so why do you think you're talking to a green Martian? Like, why do you think this is going on? Let's look at facts. And then next is what do we need to do about those things we're thinking about?
Yeah.
And then I'll worry about how do you feel,
Yeah.
right? Because if you're
Fair.
doing the right thing, you're having the right thoughts, you're doing the right things, you'll eventually feel good.
It's true.
But
Behavior matters.
yeah, but we don't
Couldn't.
control our feelings. That's a big that's gonna be in the book. We do
Okay.
not control emotions just like pooping. We don't control it.
Just like
That's
pooping.
going to be your quote for this one. Emotions like
That's gonna be the
pooping.
title of the book.
We don't control our emotions just like pooping.
We don't. Look, if I
It's
ask
true.
to go
It's true.
drop a deucer somewhere, it's not a big deal. No one cares. No one cares.
Right.
The only time people care is when you do it in public, in the wrong spaces,
Oh my God. This is
right? If you
That
have that
is
emotional
this got
diarrhea,
really
with the
existential.
girls, you're just trying to have martini night, and then all of a sudden your girl just all of a sudden start crying and yelling with her
Pooping.
boy. It's like, dude, that's not what I signed up for.
It's true.
You know?
Yeah.
Wash your
Oh my
hands,
God.
nasty.
Wash your hands.
Okay, you guys are gonna get me in trouble. Don't
Okay.
give away my book ideas. You gotta edit that part out.
We definitely
okay.
won't. Okay, what about a human resource? Last one.
A human resource.
Like
Yes.
everybody on the planet should read or do or
Oh,
watch.
yes. Everybody, I am a big fan of Carol Dweck's book, Mindset. I like the how emotions are made. I can't think of the author of that one,
That one's
but
great.
how emotions are made, that really hit me
I
with the
think it's Lisa
control thing.
Feldman Barrett. I think that's who that is.
Okay, yeah.
The Secret Life of the Brain.
I really like that one. And then Talent Code by, I think it's Daniel Croyle.
Okay.
And my all-time favorite is Sun Tzu, The Art of War. That's one I really like, strategy, and has some awesome, amazing life principles.
Amazing.
Love it.
Okay, what do you want to plug?
To call me. Y'all need to quit playing. Just call me. It makes it so much easier. I don't do marketing very well. I don't do ads very well. If you have questions, if you're interested in having me help your athlete or helping anybody, really, individual athletes and everybody, just reach out. I know I'm pretty good, and I know there's other therapists who are also good. And so if I'm not a good fit, my claim to fame is I'm gonna help you find somebody who is. And
Totally.
so just call me. I'm simple.
Call me.
Call me. Text me now. I gotta start saying text me now too. I
Okay.
text. And
Oh.
when the holograms hit the market, you can hologram me, whatever, however get a
Hologram?
hold of me.
Meme you?
Cyberpunk, here we come.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
Jeremy, thank you so much for coming. We love
Well,
you.
I just had a blast with you. Your everything is advertised, and I'm so thankful that we connected.
Us
Awesome.
too, man. This has been awesome. Talk to you later, Jeremy. We
Adios.
will have you back.